I hope I answered all your questions.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, I probably have lots more. It was actually really interesting to talk to somebody who not only works with it, uses it, teaches it, like part of that whole process in that whole industry is fascinating.
Yeah. If you're interested in the industry, like there's a course, I should have included it in the podcast, but there is a course that I had to do. But it's an American course. So some of the stuff doesn't apply to us, but the information around cannabis does. Like some of the laws and that kind of stuff don't apply to us, obviously, because they're American laws, but it gives you a good history on cannabis and what cannabis does in the body and those kinds of things. And that's how I've become certified as an educator.
Okay, so we are still recording because remember I said sometimes after the recording there's some really good stuff that
I
comes
have
up.
to find the link for you. I'm not sure. I have to go into my emails. Let me see if I can.
You can send that to me and we'll put it in a download for the member site.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you remember what the course was called?
Not off the top of my head. I've taken so much education, I have no idea. But you know what? If you were interested in doing a course, Spectrum Therapeutics is a licensed producer. The rec brand would be Tweed, so anybody that's using rec would know them. But they have on their website a spot for health professionals, and you can log into their site and take their courses as education.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they're quite, they're very good company in that they give back and back into not only the consumers, but they're good about educating, and they're charitable. Like they have lots of non-for-profit organizations and stuff that they're involved in. So
sure, and I'm sure that's part of their philosophy, but I'm just going to go out on a whim here and say that it probably helped with getting the business up and running too, knowing that you can communicate or not communicate, give back to the community. It makes me think of lotto tickets, right?
Yeah. So
interesting. I didn't ask you about people growing their own, because I think they can do that as well, right?
Yeah. So you just have to go onto the Health Canada website, educate yourself, and then pay the fee for the license. Then you have to get a prescriber to prescribe it. So my particular clinic charges $250 to do that. And then I do the intake, and then we get it prescribed. And then after that, you're on your own. It's up to you to make sure you know all your education, the laws, and everything that around that. But you'll get your certificate from Health Canada and be able to grow your own plants. But everybody is allowed legally to grow 4 plants in a household per person. So if you have 4 people that are over the age of 18 living in your house, you can have 16 plants, which is a buttload of weed.
More than a gram?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, when you say everybody can grow, that would be everybody who has a prescription to grow? Like I don't have any needs, so I wouldn't be allowed to grow.
You could go into a rec store and get seeds and grow your own cannabis.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, all the stuff I'm learning today. Forget the carrots in the garden this year.
I know. I've always been tempted because I'm like, I wonder if I could grow it in my mom's backyard, because she's got like a very lush backyard and whatnot. I'd want to get shot, and 2, I don't know if it would do really well because we're in the Canadian climate. So
yeah,
a lot of people past the province of BC will choose to grow it both in and outdoors. So it's based on the percentage of, like, the amount of plants you can grow is based on your square footage that you have available to grow it in.
Yeah.
So
wow. Good stuff. So you're doing this full-time? Is this a full-time gig for you?
Full-time gig for me for right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're still doing the OR casually then?
Yeah.
You're a busy lady.
I love that too.
Yeah, you're busy.
I've worked orthopedic trauma for most of those years. So
wow, that's some pretty good stuff in there.
I love it. Fixing all kinds of stuff in there, and yeah.
Big spikes, big nails.
Yep, big nails, big, some back procedures, those kinds of things. So, and I worked in surgery as well. So,
how has COVID affected your OR shifts? Are you still getting any?
No.
It's shut it down.
Yeah. They're doing emergency stuff right now, but all electives are gone. So
you wouldn't be in there on a casual day for emergency needs? No, you would be assigned
they've
to a
got so much
service?
staff there right now that they're good. But I am signed up to help with the response in terms of like Health Link and swabbing at doors and doing those kinds of things. I signed up with Health Human Resources and said, like, let me know if I can help, because I don't know. It's like going to war, right? Like you sit there and you're watching all your comrades and doing their thing, and you're like, okay, like I need to be in there to do it. Like I can give you all the weed in the world, but I feel like I need to be like in the hospital helping with all that, because it's just driving me nuts sitting here.
Maybe you need to be at the door handing people their care. Like when you go to people's
Yeah, here's your care package.
Here's your care package. Here, take this. You won't feel so bad in a few minutes.
Yeah. My card's attached.
I put my name in as well. I'm like, same thing. I actually posted several weeks ago, like, put me in, coach. I'm ready. Like, I used to work Emerge, ICU. I'd love to go back into the ICU. And Jason Kenney had mentioned in one of his daily briefs that they were looking at advanced training for ICU nurses, or accelerating the training, for ICU nurses. And I immediately wrote into the HR department of Alberta Health Services saying, how do I get in on that? It's been 6 years. I would love to take a refresher and get into the ICU. And they're just like, you have to apply. You're an external candidate. I'm like, I'll never get in.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're asking for nurses that have been retired.
I know. I've made it through the first stage. I did actually have a phone call last week.
Oh, good.
Made it through the first stage, got all my paperwork ready to go, and I'm just waiting now to hear. I suspect, though.
Fingers crossed.
I don't think I'll ever get a phone call to go into service in the ICU. I think they've done such a good job that they've emptied the hospital out of anything that's, quote unquote, unnecessary. Would have stayed maybe a couple days, but they're at home now in anticipation, and they've had to redeploy all these nurses to other departments that I honestly don't think I'll get a call, but I'm ready if they do.
Yeah, and that's how I felt about it too. I'm like, I'm going to make sure I email Human Resources, make sure that they know that I'm totally available. These are my specialties. This is where I can work. And let me know. And I reached out to all the OR managers that I know, and I'm like, if you need help or in any sense of the word, please tell me, and I'll be there. Like, I'll make it work for you. So I'm like, I still have to work my full-time day job, but I'll make stuff work so that I'm around on the evenings and the weekends. And if I have to do nights, then I'll do nights, but I am not a person that can sit around and do nothing. So
I know. So I was going to ask if your employer, if they would release you for a certain amount of time to go and respond to COVID, or would they not want to do that?
They're pretty good about things. So I'm sure if I had a sit down chat and was like, look, like, I'll help you where I can help you, but the hospitals here are like in dire straits. And so I need to go in, and I'm sure that I'd be able to work something out with them. So
yeah. They're a pretty chill group, hey? Just make sure they have their dose before you go in and have that conversation.
It's great. Everybody's dosing at work. Everybody's,
Oh my goodness.
They're always bugging me because, of course, I have that nursing standard in my brain that, can't be on any of this stuff while I'm working. I need to have my wits about me, those kinds of things. So they're always on my case about those kinds of stuff, but I don't care. I hold true, and I keep doing my thing, and we go from there. So
that sounds great. Well, it's been really lovely catching up with you.
You too.
And let's not wait another 7 years. Like, I honestly can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, 7 years, and we definitely won't. I mean, look me out. If we want to go and do that granny picture, we'll go do the granny picture together. And
all right, I'll definitely include you in that. All right, have a good afternoon. Thanks for talking.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I'd like to thank Lindsay once again for sharing her story and her job as a cannabinoid therapy educator. Now, if you have a story you'd like to share, email me at info@tammydunnett.com. I'd love to have you on the show. Thanks for listening.